what is the need of the clients who are now underserved? There is the need for new businesses, new people to get out there. And I always call this section the entrepreneurial section. We don't do it all the time. We do it probably 5 or 6 times a year. And we talk to new businesses, people who are trying to help those new businesses. One of the great people who also helped my particular business is Tim O'Keefe from Spider Juice Technologies. He joins us now. Tim, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much for coming on. Okay, so with that 5,000 words in 30 seconds or less that I just gave you, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do help those type of businesses that are either struggling to get noticed again after COVID, which will happen sooner or later, or are trying to figure out if they open a business, what do they do to reach people?
Well, I go back 20 plus years on this Interwebs thing, but as far as answering your question, I really go back even as far as college, right? Because if you took any business courses, I certainly hope they, at some level, touched on reaching people, right? The
Right.
whole idea, AIDA, right? You remember
Right.
from, I think it was Alex Baldwin and talking in that famous scene.
Absolutely.
But it's all about, okay, what you just asked. How do we reach people? And so, I'm an old football coach at heart and an old football player, so I like to keep it simple, stupid.
Uh-huh.
And I like to just, let's break it down to brass tacks. How do you go talk to people? You go talk to people.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I'm in the restaurant. If it's open this particular week of the month,
We don't know.
say that again.
I said we don't know whether it's open. We just don't know.
Just don't know, do we? But you talk, you get to meeting people, right? I have, and I've always, that's not necessarily part of my nature. I don't sit there and, by nature, go into a place and just, I do now, but I didn't grow up with that. I was always amazed at the guy or the gal who just starts talking to everybody.
Right.
As if they know them, and it's fake it till you make it. So that's, number one. Let's not forget humanity, right? That's where it's all at. But so along comes this Interwebs thing.
Right.
Jump forward, and everybody's hiding behind their device, right?
Yep.
First it was their desktop, their laptop, and then now their phone and everything else. So how do you get to them? And so my first way is go around the normal devices that we hide behind. Whether that be actually, like I was kind of tongue-in-cheek saying, go talk to people on
Right.
the street. I'm only sort of kidding.
Right.
Those people don't get talked to. I came right out of college, and I don't even know if you know this. I got my real estate license. I worked for Remax Beach Cities in Manhattan Beach, and eventually Plato Ray. And my partner and I got into, all the, like everybody does, how do we get better? And we started going to seminars and followed Mike Ferry, and he
Right.
said, go knock on doors.
Yep.
Go knock on doors. All right, we're going to go knock on doors because we're coachable. Man, we walked around almost half of Westchester, and maybe 2 people opened the door. Now, I say that to this day, saying that I did it once with Mike, my partner, just once, and maybe it was a bad day or whatever, right? This is probably close to 30 years ago.
Right.
And I've also have talked to people over the years that laughed at me arrogantly as they described the amount of money they made by actually going out and knocking on doors. And So there's something to be said to, again, the human factor. And the fact is nobody's knocking on anybody's doors these days, except the one lone wolf who happens to be actually making connections with people, which is, I think in mortgage and real estate, that's what they say is important. This is a people business, right?
Yep.
You hear that all the time, but we want to overthink things. So I'm saying that as the guy who's the digital guy, right? People, you think of me, I am sure, and other people. And the reality of it is the humanity is what always will work. That digital gizmo that's out there is just a tool of the day. Some of the tools will last forever. So far, SEO, getting ranked on the search engines. Now it's changed quite a bit on how you do that, but that's one way. And by the way, what can you do right now to help your business is if you don't have a Google My Business, which is at business.google.com, if you don't have that, you kind of sort of probably are not on Google. Even if you are, Google is not going to give you the respect that you should have. And so business.google.com, get on there, make sure you've claimed your business, and there's more intricacies than that, but
Sure.
A lot of times by just claiming it, completely fill it out, you'll end up being ahead of your competition. Just that. Now, that is SEO in 2021. Okay, 2021 is start with Google My Business, and then we'll go back and we'll worry about your website and make sure it all matches up and all that stuff, and get both of them to rank, because sometimes the Google My Business, or as we call it, the 3-pack, where they show the little map on the front page, and depending if you're on a phone or if you're on a regular laptop, you'll get a little bit of a different result, but you need to be on that. So what else is new? Well, that's not new, but it's sort of.
Right.
Google loves itself first.
Yes, they do.
They're not.
Hope they're not listening.
Yeah, well, they probably are.
Yeah, exactly. I think so too. I'm all over YouTube, so
weird ads after I hang up.
Right, exactly. You'll get a ring on ring, and then nobody will be there. Right.
Yeah.
So we have about a minute left. What I'd like to do is just give you a chance to tell people how to reach you, and a little bit more about what you can do for them, so that they know where to go and how to get there. If you could do that, that'd be great.
Well, traditionally, like I said, since the 90s, we've provided SEO, and then as the world moved on, we were first out of the block in blogging, so we're experts in that, and then into social media, which is just sort of short form blogging,
right?
And so again, how our take is not to live on any one island other than the biggest giver of traffic and leads, which is Google. And
right.
So how does all of that other stuff on, say, social media, on Facebook, just to pick on the most obvious, how does that serve my SEO? And the way that we do that, we make sure that it does. And so there's two ways in my book to do the internet. One is for us, to serve the Google gods, which is pure SEO, and we leverage everything else to go to that place. But some of us spend a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook. So what do you do with that? Well, it's something I call persona building.
Hey, Tim,
And
I'm sorry. We have run up against our clock, unfortunately, and I got to get to my commercial break. But I want to have you back to continue the discussion if you've got time.
I absolutely will.
Awesome, dude. I really appreciate it. This has been Tim O'Keefe. He is with Spider Juice Technologies. Tim, shout out a phone number or a website people can get a hold of you.
Right. SpiderJuiceTechnologies.com, 310-533-9145. Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank you, too, very much. I'm Jeff Barton, your voice in the mortgage industry. Be right back.
You're listening to The Mortgage Voice with Jeff Barton. We'll be right back.